Hey, good evening, and welcome to yet another episode of Call Me CEO The Conversations. And this is where we talk about the mindset, the strategy, and self leadership required to become the woman you are called to be in life, in your business, and just all the way around. So, who am I? I am your host, Angela D, and I'm just so excited to be here. I love having these conversations, I love being able to share the stories and the businesses of the women in my community, the women in my circle, the women in my network who are out here just killing it and dominating in their spaces and leading, with love and leadership and faith, right? So, today's conversation, I think, is one that many women are craving, especially in this crazy, crazy time we living in. It's crazy out here in these streets. It's crazy out here in these financial streets, honey. It's crazy. And so we know that money is always an important conversation. It's always a conversation. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, right? And we're not always having this conversation honestly. So it's money, mindset, and manifestation, becoming a wealthier woman in 2026. I want y'all to pull up a seat, share this broadcast out, tag a couple of your good girlfriends, tell them to get on in here because we're going to talk about this money thing today. But it's not always just about money. I want you to really remember that, because wealth is not just about numbers in your bank account. It's not always just about money, but it's also in your identity, in your belief, and in your intention. You got to be wealthy in all of those areas. So I am so excited. And when I bring her up here, I'm going to tell her, something that I probably never shared and told her about before. But I'm really excited today to be joined by Lexi Johnson. Lexi, I think she is the bee's knees. I think she is really an amazing person, and I'm so excited that she's here today. Lexi Johnson is a kingdom, honey, a kingdom financial coach who equips women entrepreneurs to produce, multiply, and dominate through godly stewardship. She is also the host of the Radical Godly Stewardship podcast and best-selling author of, and I love this title, Stop Begging God for Money. Lexi advocates legacy and disrupts complacency, honey. So we're going to welcome Lexi to the stage. I always say to the stage like we really on the stage, but this is my stage. So we're going to bring her on up here, and here she go.
We are on the stage, girl. Safe
I'm like,
stage.
here she go, baby. Here she go. Yes,
Oh,
welcome. How are you?
I am great now that I'm here with you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I think that this conversation is very important. I think it's important to talk about our money mindset, because, again, we living in a crazy world, right? And we got to be ready. We don't know what's coming up. We can't be scared of what's coming up, but we also have to be prepared for what's
Yeah.
coming up. So I just want to start at the foundation of this thing, because the foundation of all of it is your mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's all about your mindset. So women, we work hard, we show up consistently, but we still feel blocked financially, right?
Mm,
And it's
yeah.
not because of lack of effort, it's because of beliefs that we've been carrying around for years. I know I have them. There are many women out here that are watching that have them. Sometimes we get, I don't know, I think we get scared about the money conversations, and we get scared, about talking about finances and the beliefs that we have around it. So I'm just going to kick it off and ask you, what beliefs around money did you personally have to break in order to grow financially and get on out here and write this book and be able to coach other women in this financial space?
Yeah. That is an excellent question because, as you have said, that oftentimes it is not about the actual money itself. It's not about effort. It's just things that we got twisted in our mind. And so, for me, one of the things that I had to shed was, and these are things too that you can grow up learning in church or whatever the case may be. But I had to shed one this belief that God will do it, right? Like, would you say, just go pray about it? Gotta do it. Won't he do it?
Yep.
Won't he will? Right.
Really won't he will? Yes, he will. Yes, ma'am.
And right. And I'm like, yeah, we saying all this, but where is our responsibility in this? Right. So I like to
Yeah.
call that like spiritual passivity. So we just, oh, God got it. I'ma just, do it. And it's like, no, there is certainly we want to pray, certainly he can do it. But the truth is, I had a role to play in it too, right?
That's
Oh, I'm the steward. And that was a huge thing that I had to learn. He's the owner, I'm the steward. None of it belongs to me. It all belongs to him. So therefore,
mm-hmm.
to be consulting with him, checking
Yeah.
in with him about what I'm supposed to be doing with his stuff.
Come on now.
So that was definitely one of the beliefs that I had to get rid of. And you know what? One other one was that I had to get rid of confusing humility with smallness.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I definitely had to get rid of that because when you're taught humility, oh, and I'm not gonna say everywhere, but in a lot of the churches that I had been in,
Yeah.
humility was, okay, you shouldn't want money, like a lot of money. You shouldn't,
Mm.
be, play small, do all that kind of stuff. And that's not humility.
Yeah.
Humility is not smallness. You can have a
Yes.
big bank account and still be humble. So
And that one is a good one, and that's a real one because, like you said, we are taught, and I'm not gonna say sometimes, like you say, it's in some places, in some churches, and I know it's been in some that I've been in over the years myself, and we're taught that like it's not necessarily a sin, but that you shouldn't want more, that you
right,
shouldn't, you know what I mean, that's not something that's godly, and I don't understand why that is
yeah,
and where that came from, because it's so damaging to a lot of us. We get successful, or what we perceive as success, and get scared to go a little bit higher, right? Because we were
yes,
taught that that's not what we're supposed to do. Oh
yeah.
goodness.
Very
Yeah,
damn it's very damaging to the kingdom because who wants to be a part of the kingdom if you gotta be, broken, struggling, like
mhm.
struggling all the time. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna have our struggles, but goodness, who wants that life?
That's right. And success is not always synonymous with struggle. I say
Correct.
that all the time. It's just, it doesn't have to. I mean, sometimes it happens, but it does not have to go hand in hand. And I think a lot of women don't realize how much their upbringing, how much the culture, how much past experiences shape the way we think about money. I know I
Yes.
never thought about it. And when I look back, I'm like, wait a minute, that's why I think this way, or that's why I have such difficulties, maybe with saving, or maybe with investing, or things like that, because
Yeah.
the beliefs, we have to challenge
Right.
those beliefs, to
Absolutely.
avoid end up repeating the patterns, right?
Yes. Yes. Do we have time for me to share one more?
Yes, absolutely.
One more belief that I had to get rid of was praying for increase while I'm mishandling what I already have.
You better come on now. You got to get into that one a little bit more, because I think that is so, man, I have learned that lesson, and that is so important. So I think I want you to touch just a little bit more on that, because we holding on to that one.
Yes, I will put it like this, right? So you own a business, you're a CEO, I'm a CEO, right? We got decisions and things that we need to make. Sometimes we need to delegate and have some people do some things, right? And so when you give people, a certain level of responsibility, especially if this is the first time you're working with that person, you're trying to, test things out, you might give them a little bit of responsibility at first. You want to see what they're going to do with the little
Right.
bit of responsibility that they have, and then we're like, okay, uh okay, they did good with that. Okay, now let's give you, some more. Let's give you some more
Yeah.
things to do. Well, why do we think that y'all see, I call him Yah, you guys may call him God, but why do y'all think that Yah gives, why do we think that he would be any different, right? If everything is his, he owns it. He has given it to you, to me, and everybody out there. He's given you a measure to steward, and we think I can just go do whatever I want, and then just go keep asking him for increase. And he's like,
Mm,
"Nah, you look what you're doing with what I gave you.
mm, mm,
If
mm,
you were
mm.
if you were the owner, would you give you some more?"
Right.
No, right?
Right.
So yeah, I had to yeah,
Ooh,
that one hit hard.
that's a deep one though, because I had to do the exact same thing. I've never been one to pray for things like you say. You pray for increase, but we mishandling. I was mishandling the things
Yes,
that were given to me, and it's not always about the money that's given to you. It's about the mindset that is
everything.
mishandling my mindset, mishandling
Everything.
the assignment. All of it affects how your money shows up and how you show up for your money. So I want to
Yes.
talk about the wealth identity a little bit, right?
Mm,
Because how we see ourselves, right, determine how we earn, determine how we spend, and how we receive. And if we are
yes.
not seeing ourselves as the Most High, as Yah, as God sees us, how exactly will we be earning and receiving and spending, right? The proper way, and then in a way that is reciprocal, in a way that promotes the abundance that God promised us, because I know doggone well what we were promised. So how can women begin stepping into that wealth identity, especially if you're a woman who has never seen themselves as wealthy before?
Yes. I love this question because it really is about understanding your identity, understanding who you are. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, right?
Mhm.
Ladies and men who may be out there listening, most of our money problems are not income problems. Okay, hear me. It's not about whether you got $10 or 10,000 or 10 million,
Yeah.
because I have dealt with people on all realms of the spectrum, and they all are having the same problems. Okay,
Yeah.
in terms handling things. It's not
She might have froze up a little bit, but she's still there, y'all. She's still there. Hold on, let me go back. She is still there. We having just a little bit of technical difficulty. I don't know if she realizes that she's gone, but we're talking about how women can begin stepping into their wealth identity, especially if we've never seen ourselves as that before. And while I'm waiting for her to reconnect, I will say this: it's so difficult when you're not used to seeing yourself as wealthy, because when you think of wealth, you think of just having a whole lot of money. That's what you think of when you think of wealth. You hear all of these terms: generational wealth and wealthy in all of those aspects. But if you have not seen yourself as such, if you can't even visualize that, right, then how exactly would you be able to pursue that? You know what I mean? Because again, well, I shouldn't say pursue, because wealth is not something that you chase. It's something that you align with, right? It's something that you align with. So I'm going to go in the comments, and I want to just welcome a few people and see if Lexi's going to be able to get back on. So let me come over here in these comments and say, welcome to Amanda Boy. Good evening. Thank you for joining. And it is damaging, Amanda. It's damaging. The beliefs that we have are damaging. The systems, that mindset is definitely damaging. Cheryl, let me put you up here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So I'm going to say good evening to all of y'all. And then, wait, goodness, I got another comment, because we keep going, y'all. Stuff happens live and we keep going. I want to delete. I don't know. They always show this flash sale. I can never, and this thing has been on here since 2024, and I can never figure out how to get rid of this pinned comment on my live video. So anyway, I'm gonna go back to talking about wealth being something that you align with. And I think that just about anything that you pray for, anything that you ask for, especially when it comes down to wealth and income and abundance, it's all about alignment. It's all about alignment. And so you definitely are who you think you are, girl. You got to shake your head back there. I see you popped up back there. And I'm going to bring her on back down. We keep going, baby. We keep
it.
going.
Kind of day I've been having, but it's okay.
That's all
So,
right. That's all right. We keep
so I
going.
was
I held
saying
it
that
down for a minute. I was waiting. I knew it happened.
I
Don't
knew you
finish your
had
thing.
it. I knew you had it. So I was saying that, yeah. So we have identity problems, and it was getting back to what I was saying earlier, that we don't understand that we are the steward. We don't understand that we don't own a thing. He's the owner, and
Mm,
that's the problem. We don't understand what our position is, who we are as it relates to resources and how he expects us to use his resources, then we're going to have all kinds of problems. But if we understand that it's his, it's not ours,
Mm.
and the reason and the reason why he even gives us resources, including money, we're given. I don't care what you're doing in this world, whatever you're called to do. I don't care. At the end of the day, if you're a kingdom citizen, the purpose is to expand the kingdom of God.
Period.
That's it.
Period.
So
Right?
if you don't understand that, if you don't understand Genesis 1:28, that I'm here to produce, multiply, and dominate in every resource that he gives you, including money, you're going to have problems, no matter what
And
your
that's the
income
bottom line.
is.
Yeah. And that's the bottom
Yeah,
line. And I think that's when you find a lot of people who are rich, financially, but they can't manage it properly because they're not stewarding it properly. And so
correct.
I get that. I get it. I get it. I get it. And I also was saying that wealth is not something that you chase. You can't chase it down.
Yes,
You have to align with it. And if you're
correct.
not in alignment with it, it's just not going to come. Right? It's just
Correct.
what you're chasing because you're chasing it. And you can't
Right.
chase something that was already promised to you. You have to align and be obedient in that step and in that stewardship. And it took me so long to understand that. And this is what I meant to say when I first brought you on, because I feel like I need to say this. I have been following you for a very long time. And I always say that about Joan. And I always say that about the rest of the Mag 7. And I've learned so much. And I always just want to say that to you. And so
Oh,
I'm so happy. And I've learned so much from you. And these are some of the lessons that you're talking about. I watch. You might not always see me, but I watch and I listen and I pay
yeah.
attention. And I've been stalking you since 2017 too. So I just wanted to.
It's all good. Listen, as
That's
long as
it
it's
though,
helping you.
because you are you're doing exactly what you were put here to do. You reaching, you know what I mean, who you were meant to reach. And I'm one of those folks. So I always want to share that and say that. And so
Me
let me
too.
get back to this. So that when a woman shifts her identity, because
Yes,
that's exactly what I had to do, then your
yes,
decisions change, right? And when your
yes.
decisions change, the results follow.
Yes. Yep. Because wealth starts with your decisions. Like I said, it's not
Mm,
about your income, it starts with your decisions. And some of those decisions can include okay, I'm deciding now to be a producer, not a consumer, right?
yeah.
Um, I'm deciding now that I'm not going to be a beggar, I am going to steward what I
Mm,
have, right?
mm-hmm.
I'm going to decide now that this isn't about greed, but it is about my capacity to serve, my capacity to give, and my capacity to build, right?
Mm,
When you start focusing on those things, because that's what we're called to focus on,
yeah.
then you'll find that you're in alignment, you're getting in alignment, you're in alignment, and then those resources are going to follow, including money, right?
Yeah.
So a wealth
Yeah.
mindset isn't about more money, it's about more responsibility in the kingdom. That's what it's
Mm.
about.
And can you handle that responsibility? Because as you said, why would I give you more if you can't handle what you already have? So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, and
Exactly.
all of that aligns. So let's talk
Yeah.
a little bit about income expansion. You
Yeah.
know, like you said, women want the increase. They want to increase that income, but they feel overwhelmed or unsure where to start. And
Yeah.
so that's where I want to talk about Stop Begging God for Money, because I really think that it's a great book. I think it's a great place to start. So I just want to talk about some simple, some realistic ways that women can begin expanding. And you can talk a little bit about your book. I know that you got that practical information in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So turning skills into income, that's what I want to talk about, because one of the things that when we're in the beggar state of mind is we're not thinking about what we already have, and how can we
Hmm.
take what we already have and expand it, grow it, multiply it, right? Produce what we got, multiply it, right? And then dominating that. We're not thinking about that because we are too busy begging. And so most women are already sitting on monetizable skills. It's late, y'all. Monetizable skills, right?
Yes,
And you know
ma'am.
this, Miss Angela D, because you work with women all the time, right? And helping
Yeah.
them trying to monetize those skills that they have. So many of us are already sitting on these skills, but you know what? Again, we think, oh, that's not a big deal. Nobody, is going to appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs
Mm-hmm.
that. So we don't do anything with it. So um, our skills will help fund the calling.
Yeah.
Our skills are going to help fund the calling. So an income is going to grow when you stop undervaluing what comes naturally to you.
Mm.
And I'm not even talking about pricing at this moment. I'm just talking
Mm-hmm.
about your skills, your gifts, your talents, the things that God has given you. When you stop undervaluing that stuff, your income will grow,
Mm. Because
right?
you already have it.
You already have it. And that's the question that stewardship asks. What is already in my hand?
Mm.
What is already in my hand? It was like the lady with the jar of oil, and the prophet is in First Kings, I believe. And the prophet, she's going to him saying, "Oh my goodness, like, my husband died, the debtors are coming, they're gonna take my sons." And prophet's like, "What you want me to do?"
Right.
When he asked
Right.
her, what does she have in her hands? What do you already have? And then she was sitting there like, "Oh, I don't know, I just have this little jar of oil." What? You have a you got what? He's like,
Exactly.
don't go to your neighbors and ask for some jars. Come back in your house, close that door behind you, start pouring in them things, right? Pouring in the jars. Because once you start doing that, then the Lord is going to give you more. Once you start handling rightly what you already have, it's going to give you more. Look,
Mm.
money responds to clarity, not chaos.
That's right. Oh, goodness. And that's it.
That's
That's it. That
that's
is
it.
it. That's
Okay.
absolutely it. And like
So
you say, that's what I teach. Yeah,
yes, yes,
clarity over chaos. You got to get clear to get to the money. Period.
absolutely. And the first thing you need to be clear about is that you have got some skills. We all
Period.
do.
That's right.
So get clear about that, because provision often looks like a skill that you haven't been paying attention to.
Mm, all the time. And we always say, well, and I also think that a lot of times folks get caught up in what they see on these apps on social media. We see everybody doing everything and like, oh my goodness, well, I can't bake a cake, or I can't do nobody hair, or I can't. You don't have to do that because that's not your portion, but you have what you need and you are able to monetize this thing, man. Are you good with administrative duties? Are you good with marketing? Can you tell stories? Are you a good what? There's something that you're good at, and
Okay.
people pay for what you. Somebody is out there gonna pay for what you have. You know what
People
I mean?
will pay.
It's just you have to be able, like you say, to steward it properly and handle it. You got to recognize it first and know
Yes.
and understand that you even have it, right? It doesn't
Yep.
always mean doing more. It means doing something differently. It means understanding your value and positioning yourself intentionally, right? Because
Exactly.
money then flows when you begin to move differently. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's
That's
all
what it's
about.
all about.
And
Yeah.
so
And you made
how
a
stop
point.
begging God for money. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah. So stop begging God for money. It came out. Look, this time last year, I was in the process of writing that thing.
Yes.
Took me about,
Yes.
I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks to write it, thanks to the publishing cohort with
Yeah.
Elder Joan and yourself and Dr. Lynn and Leslie.
Yeah.
So stop begging God for money. That book was birthed because I was so tired of not myself for one, okay? So
Mhm.
tired of myself and the things that I was doing with money, the financial devastation that I went through back in a period from 2008 to 2011. And not that I
Yeah.
haven't had my ups and downs since then, but that was the one that,
Yeah.
brought me where I am here. So that book was birthed out of that, and just tired of seeing women um not stewarding, begging, but not stewarding, right?
Mm.
And missing it, not and it's sometimes they're not even understanding, because again, that's the way we're taught, right? So I was tired of that, tired of people misinterpreting, misquoting, miss everything about the scripture is about money,
Mhm.
and tired of people thinking that as kingdom citizens, like we should be doing money the world's way, right?
Yeah.
Like and then we live in a country where, it's capitalism and all of that. And we get it, but we don't have to live by those rules. We are
That's
in this world, but we are not of this
of
world,
this. Come on now.
right? So just tired of seeing those things. And then also because I love to teach, and I would love to make sure that what I'm teaching is very practical, like people can take it and go do something with it right away. I wanted to do like a how-to book. A lot of, money books written out there, but I really wanted to do something that was how to, like a step by step by step. And there are a couple of books out there that are like that too, but I'm not, they're very rare for kingdom citizens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to do, was to put together this how-to guide that would take, a person literally, physically, spiritually, from begging to stewarding.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's what Stop Begging God for Money is
Yeah.
about.
And I absolutely love that title because we stay begging, Lord, please, if you just, and this is what I also had to learn. God, could you give me the money, enough money to pay my rent? Could you give me
Child,
enough money to cover this bill? Could you
listen,
give me, and that's what you get.
right.
Just enough to do this because you have that mindset. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? Of just enough because you are who you think you are. You are what you think you are. And you
yes,
gonna get, you ask not or
you're
you have
asked
not
for.
because that's what you asked for. And God said,
Yes,
well, that's what you asked for. You asked me for enough to pay your rent. So that's what I'm gonna give you.
that's what you got. You
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 know?
got down to the penny, just what you needed to pay your rent.
Hmm.
No,
Absolutely.
you got a whole
And
lot of other stuff to take care of. But see, that's the other thing too. We're asking God for the wrong things. We're asking him to pay the rent. We're asking him to pay the light bill. We're asking him to, instead of, okay, Lord, what is it that you have already gifted me with that's going to take care of all of this for a lifetime?
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Why do
That's
I keep
right.
coming to you every month asking you for the rent and the light bill and the this and then that, right? Like,
Hmm.
Lord, what okay, I recognize now I have this thing. What strategy do I need to put in place? How do I need to go about this? These are the questions that we need to be asking him.
Absolutely, man. Because for many of us, money is tied to faith and trust and belief and all of those things. But how does that mindset, that faith, that intentional action work together in the financial journey?
Exactly.
Yeah, and we got to we
Exactly.
have to put that together. I believe it's an important balance because it's wishful thinking. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we say manifestation, we say all of that, but if you're not doing the work, it's wishful thinking because you still got to do the work to go with whatever it is. I don't know. I kind of struggle with, and I say manifestation, but I kind of struggle with it a little bit because you're
Oh,
really not manifesting anything.
ooh, what you done said. I'm so excited. We about to talk about this word manifestation.
Because you're
I'm
really
so
not.
excited. You're not.
Really not. As far as I'm concerned, manifestation is wishful thinking. You
My
know,
goodness.
it's wishful thinking. What you doing outside of that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let you have that one because I know.
Oh, child,
Yes,
listen, you could go. The manifestation that the world talks about is exactly what you said. It is wishful thinking. It is wishful thinking. Now, there is such a manifestation that is biblical.
Mm-hmm.
But biblical manifestation ain't about magic.
That's right.
Biblical manifestation is about alignment
Oh,
and action, not
every time.
wishful thinking. Not I'm gonna
Every
sit
time.
here, think about it, and it's gonna come to me. No, no,
Yeah.
no, that's not how that works. Okay. What you believe shapes how you move. And we know as kingdom citizens that faith without works is
I
dead.
did. Come on now.
Okay.
And it's
Faith
not
without
just a
works,
cliche. It's not just a
it's
cliche.
not just a cliche.
You
Okay.
know?
Nothing in that scripture is cliche, it's very real. So
That's right.
the manifestation, biblical manifestation, isn't this name it and claim it kind of stuff. Manifestation is thinking, it's deciding, it's stewarding an agreement, it's wisdom, it's cooperation. That's the kind of stuff that it is, right?
That's it.
And let me tell you how something we don't manifest a dirt girl thing.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
We don't
That's
manifest
right.
nothing. God is the one who does the manifesting in these
That's it.
parts.
That's
Okay?
it.
Him, the Holy Spirit. If you read your scripture, because the word manifestation is in the Bible, but
Yes.
if you read in the Bible, who's doing the manifesting is not us. That word manifestation in the Greek is a word called apocalypsis, and it
Mm.
means to reveal, to uncover, or to make visible.
Yeah.
And so God does the revealing. We don't.
We can't do that.
Not we can't do that.
That's right.
He does the
That's
revealing. And then manif- what manifests in us, it's like who we become, right? So he gives us that wisdom, the strategy, the decisions, the fruit of the spirit, love, joy, peace,
mm.
patience, kindness, all that good stuff. It is who we become.
That's it.
It's
That's
not
it.
a car showing up or some money showing up or ice cream showing up or whatever the heck he's sitting there thinking about, hoping
Yes.
it's going to show up in the next few minutes.
It just ain't gonna show up. It's not. And it's the same thing. I did a vision board session,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. And I kept reiterating, you can stick it on the, I don't care if your vision board is virtual, I don't care if it's
Yeah.
a physical vision board, you can stick all of that stuff up on there. But if you're not changing the mindset, if you're not
Yes.
putting forth the action, if you're
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. It's just gonna still sit there on your vision board, and you're gonna have another year of saying, "Dang, I thought I was gonna do this, or I didn't do this, or my year didn't end the way I wanted it to end." That's just the reality of the situation, man. That's the reality of the situation, that you have to pair all of that belief and all of that vision and all of
My
that with
goodness.
action, discipline, and trust that it's going to happen. Because the other
Absolutely.
side of that is, you cannot say you trust God, you cannot ask for God all of these things and then worry about it later, or worry about how you're going to get it, or worry about where it's going to come from. So I just had to
Absolutely.
say that part, man. Listen.
Yes, girl, you going.
Because we can go here and have some church tonight, but
Listen, okay? Listen.
this has been, I think this conversation was so needed. And I'm looking in the comments, and I'm looking at the folks that are commenting,
Me
and
too.
Janet, just said, wow, Shelly said this is deep, because it is. It absolutely is. It's deeper than wishful thinking. It's deeper than, sticking it on your board. It's about alignment and getting on out there and doing the work. And just as
Absolutely.
you, I love your work, the word radical stewardship. I love that, because you got to get on out there and do the work, because it's not going to happen. Period.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
listen, I want to thank you for being a guest on here tonight, because you reminded us that becoming a wealthier woman in 2026 is not about just becoming someone else. It's not about always about money, because wealth is not always the financial part. That's a part of it, but it's also
Yes.
about becoming more aligned with who we already are, and just who God told us that we are, because we are who God says we are. But sometimes we
Yes.
don't listen, and we're not listening, and I think that we need to go ahead and listen. So if there's just one last thing that you can reiterate, or that you can let a woman know, that's out here listening and trying to figure out this thing in these financial streets and these stewardship streets, what is one thing you can leave them with tonight?
Yeah. So for those of you out there who are listening, some of you might be thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe God is just withholding from me. Maybe I'm just not deserving of it. Maybe I'm just maybe this isn't my lot in life or whatever. God is withholding. Listen, He is not withholding anything from you. He is trying to develop capacity, okay? Because He needs for us, well, He don't like need us like that, but we need to be out on the battlefield, those of us who have this ability to steward this resource called money, because there are some very real needs that need addressed and it requires money. There are, legacies that we need to take care of from our children to children's children, all the way down to the fourth generation and all of that. And part of that is so
Oh, listen, it's
uh, I
okay.
just like so God is not going to fund your dysfunction, okay? He will fund your stewardship, okay?
Period.
That's what I want to read.
How can people get in touch with you, and how can they get your book?
Okay, at the Lexi Johnson on almost all social media platforms, on YouTube at Money Mastery for Her. That's the number 4 at Money Mastery for Her 54. And you can get my book by going to authorlexijohnson.com. Or you can also go anywhere online, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all them good places, and get it there too. But I would love for you to get it from my website.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because we know all that's going with you. So, and I'm also going to drop your link in the chat so people can click right on in the chat and get right to you. I thank you,
Thank
sister, for
you.
coming. I thank you for popping back on up on here.
Thank
You
you
know, they
for
tried to
having me.
keep us apart, but me and you, us never. I don't know why I felt the need to do that.
I got you, girl.
Thank
I
you,
got
Sugar
you. It's a
Plum.
pleasure. I always love coming here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Listen, this has been a really, really, really great conversation. And I just want you to know, to every woman that's listening, your financial future is not fixed. Your money story can be written, and wealth is available to you. It's available to you mentally, emotionally, and of course, financially. So, if today's episode spoke to you, I want you to head on over to YouTube at Angela D Official. Follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss these conversations. Also, in the link, there will be a link to grab my book as well. Don't call me crazy, call me CEO. There will be a link to join my free school community where we are teaching all things execution and teaching you how to use your gifts and talents and the things that God has instilled in you, teaching you how to use those things to make more money, to get to the confidence, the clarity, and the abundance that God has promised you. So, share this episode with a woman who's ready to elevate her relationship with money. Thank you for joining Call Me CEO, the conversations. This is your season to think differently, to believe bigger, and to become a wealthier woman from the inside out. So I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.